when we bought the tickets,
the guy said he saw people walking out, and we actually thought about walking out.
Really? You saw people leaving?
Yeah.
like because I had said, I had told Nathan,
I don't think it's
I heard it was decent, and then the guy, he just felt
And the guy was like, I don't know.
He just thought it was necessary to be like, I don't know. I seen people walk out. I don't know who you heard that was decent from, but I heard it was pretty bad.
So Slender Man was utter garbage. You may be wondering why I went to go see this movie? Considering the trailer was dog shit and the reviews were horrible. The reason I saw this movie is because the trailer was dog shit and the reviews were horrible. You see, I was under the impression that this would be a hilariously bad movie, similar to Wish Upon. And I pretty much got what I paid for. There were moments in the theater where I had to hold back laughter because there was like 4 other people in the theater and I was trying to be nice. Although one of them actually snickered at the movie too, so maybe I didn't have to hold it back. So let's talk about the general plot of the film. I have no idea what the general plot of the film. There's these 4 high school girls, I think, who have a sleepover. And they very awkwardly and clumsily mention Slender Man. So they look up a YouTube poop and it scares them.
Alright, here it is. How to summon Slender Man.
When you hear the first, you must close your eyes, keeping words unspoken. Opening your eyes only once you've heard the third. Are you serious? This is for shh.
Turns out the video was cursed. I guess they try to mimic how like the whole Slender Man phenomenon caught on with like pictures and, you know, shit like that. But it just doesn't work as a video. It works as a picture because it's like in the background and it's not moving. Some things are not meant to be put to motion. Some things you can take a picture of and it looks scary, but if you saw this thing walking towards you, it would look ridiculous. I'm not even a huge fan of Slender Man or anything, but this movie loses everything that makes Slender Man interesting as a character. The whole point is you look at a photo and you realize there's a creepy looking guy in the background. That's what's scary about it. And that it's in the background. If it was in the foreground, it wouldn't be scary. And guess what this movie puts Slender Man at? It loses all its eeriness once you actually start to focus on it. Okay, so this girl goes missing, I guess a couple days after. Okay, this movie has some of the worst pacing I've ever seen. It takes them like 5 minutes to bring up the main conceit of the film. Like, they just rush right into it. And it's like 20 seconds after they mention him that they get cursed. There's no build-up, there's no establishing anything. This movie just rushes past everything that could be interesting, and it lingers in all the places it should just skim over. They discover that after the girl who went missing watched the Slender Man video, and apparently sacrificed herself to Slender Man because her life was shit. You know her life was shit because she says, I don't like my life and I want to get away. I just wish I could run away from here. But we'll be stuck on this town until we die. Yeah. Real subtle. Real subtle. The joke is it's not subtle. So this one girl who's in Wish Upon, who I guess just specializes in acting in hilariously bad horror movies, starts looking into the whole Slender Man mythos and realizes that you can sacrifice something you love to get someone back from Slender Man. I'm too fucking lazy to redo that line of dialogue. They bring a bunch of stupid items to Slender Man because, oh, you gotta bring something you love. Oh, here's a teddy bear my grandma knitted or some shit. Even though it's plainly obvious that the prophecy or the curse or whatever is referring to a person and not an object, like, anyone should be able to tell that. One girl actually sees Slender Man's face and starts going crazy. This opens up the idea that, like, Slender Man he can get in your mind, bro. He can be playing with your mind. Then this girl stops going to school, and that's it. She just fucking disappears from the movie. This also happens with the boyfriend character later on. Basically, Abercrombie Tom, as they call him, has a date with the main girl who hallucinates shit and tells him about Slender Man. He watches the cursed video, and that's it. He's just gone. He's not in the movie anymore. What's weirder is that you can see both of their death scenes in the trailer, which means they must have cut them out for some reason? Like, why? Why make your movie make less sense? So Wish Upon Girl and main girl have a falling out. So Wish Upon Girl tries to sacrifice the main girl's sister to Slender Man to get back at her, I guess, so that they can live. Slender Man terrorizes him some more. Wish Upon Girl dies, I think. And then the main girl sacrifices herself to save her sister at the end. That's the plot. The main girl gets sucked into a tree. Why not? And the sister monologues about how Slender Man can make you do awful things. It just feels so tacked on. Like, it felt like the movie originally ended after she turned into a tree, and then the producer signed that was too abrupt an ending, so let's just stick something on there at the end. Just have her record some generic dialogue about how it's never over and Slender Man's coming for you next. There's no time to get to know the characters, the situation, or really anything about this world, or care about anything for that matter. There's just not that many interesting ideas in the plot. There is nothing good here. The CGI in this movie was ungodly awful. Every time Slender Man showed up, it looked like a video game, and not like a newer one, like a PlayStation 2 era video game. Why not just get some tall, skinny guy? Why not just get some tall, skinny guy in a costume? Add CGI later to make it look nicer. It just looked ridiculous every time he showed up. Anything else would have been better. The editing in this movie is just bizarre. There's just like these split-second cuts to these random images that are unintentionally hilarious. There's all these wood creaking sound effects just plastered into the scene sometimes. I think they're trying to imply that Slender Man has some connection to trees or is a tree. I have no idea. There's something about trees, but if that's the case, that is just the most surface level way to get that across. How do we show that Slender Man has ties with nature? Just have some wood sound effects. I don't know. Every time this movie actually manages to get a good scene going, fine scene, it just manages to screw it up. The library scene, for example, is an alright scene. I mean, it's nothing great. It's good. It's passable. If the whole movie was like the beginning of the library scene, I wouldn't be making a review on it. Until Slender Man touches this girl's face, and then it becomes a Slender Man, like, featureless face. Why? There's a dream sequence that's fine until the girl realizes that she's pregnant in the dream, and, like, these tendrils start shooting out of the pregnant belly. This happens every time there's an okay to decent scene. They take it too far and just run it into the ground. As I said before, the dialogue just isn't good. It's like a computer virus on your hard drive, except instead of a hard drive, it's your brain. And the only memorable line of dialogue is Abercrombie Tom, and that doesn't even really fit into the movie. It feels like something a friend of the writers said like 10 years ago, and the writer said, that should be in a movie. I'm gonna put that in one of my movies. Another problem with this movie is there's just no rules. There's absolutely no rules or world building at all. Slender Man could just do whatever. He's some supernatural figure, and you're all fucked. What are we supposed to be scared of if our villain can just do whatever? Good horror movies establish, like, there's a way to get out. Because if there is no way to survive, it's not scary. It's just, if there's no chance that our heroes can make it out alive, then what are we supposed to care about? Let's talk about how the movie looks. It looks like dog food. There's lots of shaky cam in just the most inappropriate of places. And the only interesting visuals, in my opinion, is some of the distortion effects done during some of the attack scenes. I think that, you know, it looks interesting, but it's like done so rarely. Like, they're only on the screen for like less than a second, so that's really not a compliment. The time has come to talk about the hospital scene. This was the funniest moment in the movie. So this is the moment I almost laughed out loud in the theater, by the way. So the main girl's sister is in the hospital. And the main girl's walking around and I guess having hallucinations. In every room she sees something stupid and laughable that's trying to be scary. And then it cuts to a bunch of stupid ass shots, including the most hilarious shot in the movie. A shot where all of her limbs are like disconnected and shit. This was the only moment in the movie where I cracked, and I did I cracked a little bit. I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I just started chuckling to myself. Honestly, this scene was worth the price of admission for me, even though I didn't pay for it, but it was totally worth it. Overall, this movie was just lifeless. It felt like all the actors and like the cast was just like sleepwalking through it. It felt like there was absolutely no passion put into it. It felt like the entire movie was like the beginning of a better horror movie. And not even like a great horror movie, like one that's like kind of slow to start off, you know how some horror movies kind of start off a little slow and then pick up when the horror starts setting in. This movie never picks up. And while I maintain that the hospital scene was worth seeing the entire movie, most of this movie is just boring. It's just characters you don't care about, talking about stuff you don't care about, and running into Slender Man a couple times. I actually think the Slender Man movie could work if done right. Just making a movie about kids going into the woods. Just make it about kids going into the woods to find Slender Man and they all get killed. That's fine. Again, I wouldn't be making a video about this if the movie was okay. It's okay to just make an alright movie. You don't need to throw in artsy-fartsy bullshit to make it seem like the movie has a point. But who am I kidding? The thing about criticizing this movie is, and this is true for things like the Emoji Movie and a bunch of movies of this variety, the people who made it don't give two shits. I imagine if the director of this movie watched this review, he probably wouldn't care what I have to say, because I don't think there was any passion put into this movie. That's why this is my most hated kind of movie. Again, I laughed at it and I thought it was funny, but I'm not going to watch this movie ever again. Because like I said, these are my least favorite kinds of movies. These completely lifeless studio cash grabs just designed to make money. Now you may say, well, every movie's designed to make money, and they are. But here's the thing. Movies can have passion and make money. They're not mutually exclusive ideas. For example, the Marvel movies. They're designed to make money, but you can tell someone has passion and is putting passion into those movies. You can tell somebody gives a shit. And that's all I ask. All I ask from a movie is the creators to give a shit. And I honestly believe that the creators of this movie did not. Thank you all for watching, and next time I will finally talk about a good movie, because I'm getting a little tired of talking about shitty movies. I'm going to talk about a good movie. In fact, I'll be talking about two. That's a little, what the well. I don't know how to end videos anymore. Play the thing. I have no idea how to end this fucking video. I don't know, I'll do something experimental. Okay, bye.
It's amazing how they let movies that are really bad get out.
Like, they don't think.
Yeah, well, it's because they spend too much money on it. They can't.
I don't think
It's amazing how they get it approved without changing it.
they're not gonna make their money back though.